Have you given some thought to what might hold you back from getting ahead in your career? We all have different fears at one time or another. Maybe it's imposter syndrome, fear of the unknown, fear of failure. And if you do know what's holding you back, are you exploring it so you don't miss out on great career opportunities or doing what you truly love? Hi, this is Diana Bernal with Corner Office Latinas. I'm a career strategist who guides ambitious Latinas through major career moves so you can reach your goals. Now, you are not alone, trust me. I have been there and I have let fear hold me back as well. But once I figured out how to tackle my fears, it opened up a whole new way of thinking and totally changed my life. I have a 4-step framework that can help you tackle these fears so they don't hold you back. And you can even use your fears as inspiration to help you move forward. I hope to show you that you already have what it takes to make a big change. Let's jump in. Before we get started, let me validate you. Fears are normal. I still have fears and hesitations around my work, but we can manage these concerns so they don't control us or prevent us from going after what we want in life. Let me walk you through my 4-step process from fear to inspiration. To help you follow along, we have a worksheet on the website. You can get it at cornerofficelatinas.com/405. Now, if you are in the car or already commuting, go ahead and keep listening so you can start thinking about these things. But come back to this when you have the worksheet or a journal. Again, that's cornerofficelatinas.com/405. This is the step-by-step process that worked for me. And I should say, still works for me because I still use it whenever I find myself procrastinating. We may not be able to make our fears go away completely. They exist for a reason. They help us pause and plan and watch out for landmines. But we can work to diminish the power of our fears so we can proceed with caution and still move forward. It doesn't hold us back entirely. As we go through this, remember, it is time to believe in yourself. Acknowledge what you have accomplished so far. And if you aren't where you want to be, that's okay. We're going to figure out how to get there. Maybe you feel like something is missing at work, but you don't know how to make a change. So this process can help you push through to something new. And don't sweat about starting over. If you have 10, 15, or even 20 years of experience, but you want to make a change, you are not starting over. You are transferring those skills to something new. You are not a novice. You are pivoting. We often get stuck in what we thought we wanted because it's hard to imagine this new job, city, or big move. So maybe it is time to let go of those old visions of success. So the first step is to reimagine success today. Let's say you started out in banking. So you thought that you would be a senior vice president with a corner office, but today that no longer suits you. You want to do something entirely different. And that was where I found myself early in my career. I was in corporate finance at a young age because I thought that's what I wanted. But once I got there and worked for a few years, I started to realize something was missing. It wasn't right for me. But I had a tough time making a change. I had invested so much into my career. I had gotten a graduate degree. My family saw me succeed and they helped me. What would they say if I was giving up a big job downtown with good pay and a 401k to do something entirely different? I realized I had to confront my fears. I had to grapple with and not just accept, but embrace my new vision of success. I gave myself permission to explore. In my case, I took a career workshop. That helped me reflect on my strengths and my interests. I slowly started to imagine myself in a new field and what that would look and feel like. Once I started to see this new vision, in my case, moving into nonprofit, I then had to overcome the fear of making a change. I could see it, but I had to take action to get there. So that led me to step 2, identifying my fear. And this is the part where you kind of have to get really honest with yourself. So for me, on the surface, it felt like the fear was money. Leaving a corporate job to go into nonprofit. Would I make enough money? And sure, money was a part of it, but there still felt like something else was holding me back. I knew all the things I wanted to do, but could not pull the trigger. I had the skills, the context, the expertise, but I realized I had become comfortable at my old job. I had already been there several years. I had been recognized and rewarded for my great work. It was a comfortable place. I was in a comfort zone and I was afraid to leave. So it was that fear of something new, of taking a big leap, more so than the fear of money. Part of this was also about not following the pack because all of my friends from college worked downtown in financial services. So I would be the outlier. But if I didn't tackle my fear, I'd stay stuck and become miserable. I knew I had to prove to myself that I could do this. So I did a reality check. So that's our step 3, reality check your fear. In my case, I listed ways I had moved through and succeeded in new situations, that I had broken past a comfort zone. I reminded myself of how I moved from Chicago to Puerto Rico and what a major culture shift that was. I went to college. I had my first job working downtown. There were plenty of times that I had moved past my comfort zone and was better off for it. And even when it came to money, I reality checked that too. I listed the ways I'd met financial goals before, like how I figured out to pay for college. I got my own apartment. I started building my savings. I started to show myself that I was capable of making big changes because I already had. So go ahead and list your fear. And then next to it, list 5 ways that you had done something despite that fear. If you're afraid of trying something new, think about when you started college or you moved to a new city or you took a job or a project that was a real stretch for you. If your fear is failure, look at 5 ways that you made a mistake or you failed, but you picked yourself back up and learned from it. We actually have a great episode on learning from failure coming up in a few weeks, by the way. If you struggle with imposter syndrome, like so many of us do, list ways where you were recognized for your accomplishments and your good work. And it doesn't have to be a big certificate or a plaque that you received. It can be a great email or someone who told you how helpful you were. The goal is to help you see that you've been in similar situations before and you can tackle it again. So now step 4, we're going to turn those fears into action. You're going to use this fear as inspiration. So for me, I started doing research. I talked to other friends about changing jobs and working in nonprofit. I started networking, volunteering to meet new people. When it came to a fear of money, I tracked my expenses. I got a handle on my budget. And yes, that meant I had to stop buying all those Lancome gifts with purchase that I thought were a great deal, but ended up cluttering my makeup drawer. I figured out my true numbers and realized I definitely could make it work. So think about taking one first step, not 10 or a dozen. What's the one thing you can do? And then take that one step and next week, take another. Start building momentum. The only thing I remember from physics in high school, an object in motion stays in motion. So just like that here, once I was on a roll, there was no going back. I put it all together. I got a fulfilling new job where I was so energized. I was recognized across the country, recruited to California, and the rest is history. Again, that's another reminder of what happens when you are in the right job. You are thriving and other people will notice. All that happened because I gave myself permission to reimagine success. Think of taking action as information gathering because you won't know until you try. Make that phone call, research that company. Go ahead and interview for a new opening. Go to an industry networking event. You can't wait for everything to be fully known. The only way you're going to know is if you take action. We can't have everything be perfect. Perfectionism is a fancy form of procrastination. And that procrastination is probably masking a fear. So use these steps to give yourself the confidence and courage to get where you deserve. So to recap, the 4 steps. First, reimagine success today. You might need to spend some quiet time on this one, and it may take a while. Spend some time journaling over the weekend. What do you want your life to look like? And maybe it's not today. Maybe it's for the long haul. Maybe you're thinking 6 months down the road or next year. Step 2, identify those fears that could be holding you back. Once you've got those fears, you're ready for step 3, reality check. Show yourself where you have accomplished things despite those fears. And step 4, start taking action, no matter how small. And if it's a month from now and you feel like nothing has changed, remind yourself, old habits yield old results. So maybe you need to shake it up somehow. Talk to a friend, get some help strategizing. Maybe it is a career coach, a class, or a workshop. And just being here is a great way to invest time in yourself. Use these resources to explore what you want and how can you get there. My hope for you is that you use these prompts to keep you moving forward. Remember, it's okay to have these fears. We all do. The key is, how can you move forward with them, using them to proceed cautiously, but still propel you into action to get what you want. More helpful topics coming up in the weeks ahead, including learning from failure, salary negotiations, and more. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next time. Thank you for listening. For more, visit cornerofficelatinas.com, where we give you the framework, inspiration, and support you need to reach and thrive in the corner office. We have some free downloads on the website, where you can also sign up for our e-news, so we can keep you posted on workshops and events coming up that you will not want to miss. That's cornerofficelatinas.com. See you next week.